Braum and Jat, they're talking about pick ban as SKT shows pure dominance over TSM here in game 1 of the day. But on that pick ban point, there is truth to the fact that SKT, look, they look good on every champion, so it's hard to get through the end of a champion select and be like, I think they beat TSM in this case. But, Frost, top of the day, you said you had some questions around the TSM drafting from day 1. It seems like the struggles continue here in day 2.
I just feel like they're kind of shortchanging themselves where they're strong. So you look at their solo laners, Hauntzer and Bjergsen. When they find success, it's usually through those guys. They pick the Shen into the Rumble. I mean, the changes to Shen, that matchup was volatile before. It's even worse now. Rumble's going to constantly have the pressure onto you. And then you pick the Syndra. I liked the fact that Bjergsen was hovering the Katarina. I really wanted him to kind of step up and do that just because I feel like you needed a threat towards that Twitch. So in what world is Syndra going to be able to reach that backline and pop him? I mean, if she gets him, yeah, she can 100% do it, but it's just so difficult.
It's very laning focused, you know. Okay, it is a great lane into Orianna, but as you say, Syndra's going to be caught in the middle of a fight, choosing targets and going to die to Twitch ults. And, you know, Jat made the point. These are undefeated picks. It's 8-0 now for Huni on the Rumble. It's 13-0. These stats are always going to look good when it's the best champions for the best team in the world. But the more important point is how the draft came together, because the approach by TSM was to ban Karma and Lulu. We saw from the LCK final that protect the Bang was the big strategy. Get him onto the Twitch. Find safe ways to do that. This draft shows us they have backup ways to bring out picks like the Twitch. We saw, okay, this is a really early Tahm Kench. Super, super early. And it's so that they can have another comp with multiple threats, but still can make it a lot about Bang as well.
Kobe, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, there's a lot wrong with this draft. Even the very beginning, though. I mean, you talk about, oh, yeah, the solo laners, playing around them. Oh, yeah, Syndra, good lane matchup and all that. But, man, the beginning, what are you even getting at the very start of this draft? The Varus and Kha'Zix, like, you need to on the side, on the red side, leave something open that you're at least going to trade back for power picks, right? Lee Sin is amazing for Peanut. It's amazing for Svenskeren. We're like, okay, you know, I can see giving that up if you're at least getting, you know, some sort of power pick back for yourselves. But it just didn't seem like they ever got kind of momentum in this draft. You know, like, okay, they got something that's good for SKT. They're happy with a lot of stuff, but we got.
Right, exactly. Blank space. Frost?
Yeah, just closing thoughts on this draft. I actually really like the fact that the Tahm Kench came out earlier. Again, it is kind of awkward to slot Tahm Kench in there. You would assume that it would be an AD carry, but I feel like SKT were so intelligent in doing that, kind of opening up space. Like, there's a possibility that we could look for a low mobility AD carry like the Twitch in this case, and as soon as they saw that Shen, they're like, really nothing's going to, you know, threaten our backline. Yeah, Kha'Zix could maybe fly in with the Shen ultimate, but we're pretty safe to pick it here.
Right, they got the go-ahead for it. Now, also before the game, we heard from Svenskeren and how he was looking forward to this matchup against Peanut. Well, guess what? Peanut gets the better of him 2 times in the first 7 minutes of this game. Kobe, let's talk about the junglers, because that's what you were putting the spotlight on at the beginning of the day.
Yeah, I talk a lot about, you know, how much thought all the teams have been putting into their early jungle routes in the past year. Svenskeren, this is something where you're just like, I wasn't expecting much, and you're still disappointed. We've seen so often from Svenskeren these invades, right, without support. And it was very risky to begin with, but then to return as well, and Peanut just absolutely takes any sort of lead and smashes him with it.
I will say this, to be a little bit fair for Spin, the first one, it turned into vertical jungling. You could see that he knew that Peanut was going to go for the blue buff. He thought that he had space to do it, but just overreached looking for the Wolf camp, and super heads up play by Peanut to be like, I bet he's going to overreach for Wolf, and I bet I can find him around this corner.
And the lanes were there as well. Rumble was pushing, could come down, respond first. The shield was going to come in from Orianna. You're right, there could have been a better scenario, but the worst case scenario came true.
Yeah, the whole point is, like, jungling, especially early on, is so team-oriented. It was before, it is even more so now. So it has to be all of them really working for plays like this.
Now that's specifically the jungle matchup. Let's take a look at the top lane matchup, because Hauntzer has been super vocal about wanting to show up on the international stage. Well, if you're going to do it against anyone, Huni would be the person to do it against. But this replay here brought to you by Acer. Huni with a big flash outplay in the 2v1.
And we're in Brazil, the land of the virtuoso soccer players. We're used to outplays. The flash from Huni to begin it is just amazing. Opening up space. Then there's Peanut. These are the 2 new members in the team. These are the flair that SKT didn't really have in their 2016 version, and now they can have outplays upon outplays, and that was just a sample of some of the great outplays in this game.
And again, look at Huni's damage dealt to champions. We were talking about that stat that popped up in the game, like 890 damage.
890 DPM on average. He had a game where he got 85,000 damage dealt as Rumble against KT Rolster, one of the best teams in the world. He's probably our 3rd best Rumble in Korea. That lets you know that the Rumble talent, it's certainly up there.
Yeah, absurd damage coming out of all three of the big carries here for SKT. Kobe, I want to return to what you're talking about, though, with having low expectation and still being disappointed, because while this is an expected loss for TSM, just like it was for G2 yesterday, at least with G2, we saw some good stuff, right? We're like, within this loss against SKT, we're seeing things come together, or things that we want to see. For TSM, it still looks like they're plagued with many of the same issues, and we're not seeing improvement even in the sustained loss.
Yeah, it's a similar feeling to after the game versus the Marines. These are issues that we see for the team, and people have been harping on them, and we're like, okay, you know, time to improve, and they've had these on the list, basically,
right?
But haven't been able to cross any of them off.
But they've shown that they understand, like they see the light. You know, Hauntzer went towards the cannon, and this is like a big gap. We talked about it at the very beginning of this tournament. You know, we want these top laners to move towards more of these fighter-style picks, the Rumbles, the Cannons, the Fizzes, and it feels like Huni's stepping up and doing it, and that kind of puts him that cut above, as well as his individual skill. But the fact that Hauntzer goes back towards those tank players, I don't want it. Like, step up to the plate, step up to the challenge.
And that's where we call into question whether or not Hauntzer has enough picks available to him throughout this tournament to continue reaching into that deep pocket. Kobe, final thoughts here?
I think he definitely does have the picks, and a lot of people are going to be like, oh yeah, Hauntzer, why is he picking the Shen? But obviously these are team decisions, you know, and a lot of it does come down to coaching staff as well.
Very much so. All right, well, for the inside story on that game, we're going to check in with Shox and SKT's mid laner.
Thank you very much, guys. Indeed, joined by the one and only Faker. SKT going 3-0 so far here in the group stage. And I know that the best of ones were a big focus of them coming in. So, Faker, how do you reflect on the team's performance so far?
그 SKT 팀이 지금까지 전승을 하고 있는데 이번 대회 들어오면서 단판전에 많이 준비하겠다고 이전에 얘기했었는데요. 지금까지 SKT 팀의 성적에 대해서 어떻게 생각하시나요?
네, 지금까지 결과는 만족스럽고요. 하지만 이제 지금이 예선이기 때문에 저희는 다음 결승전을 준비하면서 아직도 좀 경계를 다음 4강전을 준비하면서 경계를 늦추지 않고 있습니다.
Of course, I'm satisfied so far, but this is just a group stage, so I don't want to put our guards down. And we see us prepare for the semifinals and the finals.
Well, you seem very soft-spoken about it. I spoke to your teammate Huni yesterday, and he was very confident. Can you tell me a bit about what Huni brings to 2017 SKT, both inside the game and outside of the game?
어제는 후니 선수가 인터뷰를 했었는데 매우 자신 있는 모습을 많이 보여줬었는데요. 후니 선수가 2017년도에 SKT 들어오면서 게임 외적으로나 내적으로나 어떤 변환점을 가져왔는지 말씀해 주세요.
후니가 들어오면서 팀이 좀 밝아진 것 같고 뭔가 좀 약간 크레이지한 그런 느낌이 들고요. 뭐 그리고 게임 안에서도 좀 어느 정도 단단하게 잘 해주기 때문에 팀이 좀 더 견고하게 된 것 같아요.
So outside of the game, I think our team got a lot more brighter, and we can't leave out Huni's craziness. And also, like within the game, Huni, I think he's doing a good job at his top role, and he's playing very tight. I don't know. He's doing his role very well. Yeah.
Okay, secure maybe.
Secure, yeah.
All right, there we go. And then finally, you have lifted a couple of trophies in your career, but yesterday was kind of unique in which you got to lift it before the end of the tournament. So what was that like as a change-up?
페이커 선수는 지금까지 수많은 대회를 우승하고 트로피를 대회 끝에 들어 올리는 걸 많이 봤지만 어제는 처음으로 이제 오프닝 세레머니 때 대회 시작 전에 트로피를 올렸었는데요. 좀 다른 감정이 들었었나요?
확실히 좀 들고 시작하니까 뭔가 저희를 대우해주는 느낌이 드는 것 같아서 기분이 좋았고 또 그렇게 해놓고 이제 다시 이제 저희가 우승을 해야 되니까 뭔가 그걸로 조금 부담이 있는 것 같긴 해요. 네.
I felt really good because it felt like we were respected as a former champions, but at the same time, I felt the pressure to win the tournament once more, and that I have to go all the way once again.
All right, well, it was a great start so far, 3-0. Thank you very much for this interview. Faker, we are going to take a quick break, but we will be right back